if it makes her happy. I like that. If it makes her happy, and even make that a value. Make that a value you prioritize. Is it makes my wife happy. In that moment, yeah, it might annoy you, but you need to choose what matters most over what matters now.
And it's you and me, babe, whatever comes. Knowing bigger hands are holding ours, and the greatest days are ahead of us. Growing in love, learning to be a better us.
Hi there. So glad you've joined us for A Better Us. Welcome to our home.
Okay, guys, let me ask you a question, because there's something in our home that has bothered me for a long time now, and I'm wondering if I'm the only one. How many pillows do you have on your bed?
Okay, wait a second. You have the pillows you sleep on. You have the pillows you lean against when you're sitting up in bed and not sleeping. You have your oversized shams. You have your European shams. You have your decorative filler pillows.
Many of those fillers.
They add up. It's a thing. It's a
Pillows
thing.
everywhere.
Yeah.
Okay, maybe it's not that big of a deal in the grand scheme of things, but sometimes those little irritations can lead to bigger arguments. Well, author Ted Lowe will bring us some perspective on this pillow fight, and the guys of A Better Us will have lots to say in the workshop.
I hope you find closure there, honey. I really do. And then, turning a more serious corner, author and pastor Judah Smith will encourage us in how we can help our spouse with an all too common battle we fight in our minds, our own negative self-talk. This topic really hits close to home for me and for our kitchen couples too, as they have a lot to say about it.
All that and more coming up, so stay with us.
So, Ted, this is kind of an interesting question that we got, and this is from a guy, and he's saying that his wife is a great decorator. He loves how she keeps the house, but he is like kind of fed up with all the pillows on the bed, because when they make the bed, she wants to put like, I don't know, a half dozen pillows and they're frilly and whatever. And he's like, why? It's just us, you know? Can you speak to that guy, why that might be important? Or maybe it's not in your opinion, but shed some light on the pillow issue.
I am that guy. I am that guy. Even during COVID, my lovely bride wanted us to make up the bed. And it's not just, make it neat and nice. I kind of get that. I'm kind of like that. I like the neat, nice part. But there are like 3 or 4 layers of pillows, only 2 of which, we use to lay down at night. Obviously they're not suitable for, human visual consumption. And so it's very funny where I don't get that. I'll never get that. At the end of the day, it's not great for me, but it's great for us. It makes her happy. And I think sometimes like things like that, that's a battle that I'm not going to fight. It takes me probably 2 minutes to do it. If it makes her happy, make her happy. It's unloading the dishwasher. It's my least favorite thing to do on the planet. But I put myself, because I'm competitive, on a timer and says, can you get this done today more quickly than yesterday? So I'll just start going with the dishes. It makes her happy. It makes her happy. So I think it's just, those are those things that people talk about marriage being so complicated. If it makes her happy, make the bed.
Yeah. I'm reminded of that song. I forget who sings it, but it's Find 1,000 Ways. If it's violin she loves, let them play, right? And it's a good word of wisdom for us, because I hear that it's not the first time we've got this question on Loveology. Hey, what's the deal with all the pillows on the bed, right? And it sounds like a Jerry Seinfeld routine is about to start, but it really is something that can kind of push somebody's buttons. And why not? If that's what makes somebody happy, let them do it.
Absolutely.
Thanks, Ted.
Well, welcome to the workshop with the guys of A Better Us. We have Eric Maines, we have Mike Pinball Clemens right here, and we have Dan McCauley. Ted Lowe, who did that little segment there with Dr. Les, he said, about these too many pillows on the bed. He said, I am that guy. Well, I am that guy, probably even more than
You are.
Ted. Because
You can have a pillow competition with him.
I think we would beat the pillow because
Whose pillow pile is bigger?
Ann loves to decorate the bed after it's made with all these decorative pillows. It drives me crazy. Like it used to drive me crazy, okay? But I counted once. I said, honey, what's with all the pillows? And I counted, you know, including the ones we sleep on. Okay, 17.
Oh, that's
17
high. You might win. You might win that
pillows.
competition.
And I just didn't get it. And I was kind of resisting, honey. I don't want to make the bed with you because it's just. And she said, come on, it won't take that long. So one time she said, well, let's time how long it actually takes us to make the bed. And so we you know, did everything just right and put it all up. 1 minute 47 seconds. Okay, 1 minute and 47 seconds. And she said, come on, hon, you could give me 1 minute 47 seconds, you know, and help me make the bed. I said, okay. And it became one of those battles that you say, no, I'm just not gonna. It makes her, if it makes her happy, like Ted Lowe said there, that okay. I can do it for 1 minute 47 seconds for her. It's not too much in the day.
I thought you were going to say she'd make tricked you into timing yourself. We can do it 1:46.
We can beat that. Hey, I'm a competitive guy. I think we can beat that.
Yeah.
Okay, we got to get the stopwatch out. Yes. But what about this idea?
Well, I can visualize 14.
Oh yeah.
So I know we have at least 14 on the bed right now.
So you've been there.
So
You're
could
a
be
kindred
more.
spirit with me.
And when I think about it though, and when I saw the video, I was thinking like sort of the first thing that came to mind is she gave birth 3 times. She is my #1 support, right? She balances me, right? She inspires me to do more, to be more. And I was like, I was almost a little bit confused on that one. I was like, really? You know what? I think I should go buy some more pillows. That was my reaction, right? Is
need
that
to buy 4 more to beat Ron.
Yes. So,
Might as well make it even 20 to go for 20.
So now she may have to take them back and buy 4 different ones, right? But you know, to keep us into all the color codes, right? But my whole thing is, yeah, this is cool if it pleases you, if it's good to you. My only challenge would be if there's a fiscal concern where we're being fiscally irresponsible, where we may be trying to save for the kids to go for education or having trouble paying bills. In that situation, I understand it, but you know that. Other than that, I'm struggling with really kind of understanding what the problem is here.
You know what? If it makes her happy, I like that. If it makes her happy, and even make that a value, make that a value you prioritize. It makes my wife happy. In that moment, yeah, it might annoy you, but you need to choose what matters most over what matters now. It's you're prioritizing your values. Yeah, for us, we don't have the pillow issue. We actually, for us, it's more, you know, I would go with the board and batten wall design thing is, and you know exactly what I'm talking, because you've helped us out multiple times with that. Kara loves to design in the house and everything like that, and so we recently moved, and she's like, okay, we're doing board and batten again on the wall. And just like, why? Like this wall looks fine. She's like, no, I need this.
Yes.
And then of course I got to choose what matters most over what matters now. Kara loves this. It makes her happy. Let's do that.
Happy wife, happy life.
There it is. And so we put these boards on the wall and we paint them, and she loves it, and she's happy, and I'm happy. So.
I like what he said there. He said, it's not great for me, but it's great for us. And you know, in marriage, we make room for each other. We both bend so that we don't break. You know, the Bible says that we need to make room for each other's faults. Not that having pillows or not having pillows is a fault, but just that concept. We make room for. There are things that, you know, Danielle brings into the marriage that and life that cut in on my idea of a perfect life. And there are things that I bring in that cut in on her probably preconceived idea of what a perfect life is. But in married life, no one spouse gets every single detail of life the way they want it. And I think that's by design, right? Because God uses our spouse to make us more like Jesus. And there's that rub that you said, that iron sharpening iron, and the sparks fly, and it's not always fun, but it makes us better when we have to become less selfish. Marriage is an exploration of becoming and becoming and becoming less and less and less selfish. Because God doesn't want us to be spoiled brats. We all can probably think, when I say spoiled brat, of a spoiled brat that we know, and they are the worst to be around. Someone who gets everything they want exactly the way they want it.
And we could probably think of our own spoiled brat moments that we've had.
Yes.
And
so the rub that happens being in a house with somebody who wants something different than you, and who's going to give and who's going to bend, and life isn't exactly the way that I would have made it necessarily, but overall it's better, but it required me to bend on some things. It's not great for me, but it's great for us. I think that's the point.
Good.
Yeah.
If this is an exponential habit, right, where it's more pillows, right, it's more cars, it's more, if it's more, I can understand it. But I'm really, guys, having trouble trying to understand. Like, you know, I would take that pillow and have a little pillow fight with him and say, hey, listen, we got to get you straight here, right? We got to go and just do a little pillow
Could become
fight.
foreplay.
Yes.
Just saying.
You're right there.
Yes. Well, I wasn't talking about with her. I was talking about with him. But that could work.
Yeah,
Yes.
it could work.
I remember that leadership teacher, John Maxwell, said something that's always stuck with me. He says, in matters of style, go with the flow.
Right.
In matters of principle, stand like a rock. And that's powerful.
You got to know the difference.
You got to know the difference.
Yeah.
Is this just something that irritates me because it's a style thing? Yeah, hon, go ahead. Go. It makes you happy. Yeah. Go with it. Yes. You know, have at it, and just don't let it your little pride moments, you know, get the best of you. But do the servant thing, as we've talked about. It's been a good discussion as we're looking at some tools for the trade of marriage. There we go.
Okay.
And so thanks for joining us, and stay with us though. There's more Better Us to come.
Let's both share the most prevailing story we tell about ourselves to ourselves and assess how accurate it is. I think by doing that, you'll discover that there is a lot of things you think about yourself that are actually utterly and entirely untrue, and you might have got it from a third grade teacher who didn't even know you in the first place.
For more marriage encouragement, follow A Better Us on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube.
And subscribe for your free weekly Marriage Moment email at abetterus.tv.
So, Judah, we have a question that you came to mind on this because we've had so many long conversations about this topic of self-talk. How do I change my negative self-talk? What do you have to say about that?
Well, I think a lot of people have the misnomer that they actually don't have any self-talk. And by default, everyone does. It's the story that you tell in your head. It's the story you tell about yourself. Maybe you tell yourself you're not smart. Maybe you tell yourself that you're a recluse. Maybe you tell yourself you're outgoing. Maybe you tell yourself that you're a jock. Maybe you tell yourself that you're a witty, funny, comedic person. We all tell our personal story to ourselves all the time. And oftentimes we tell ourselves those stories right before we walk into the room, whatever the room is, and we kind of act accordingly. And so first of all, I think it starts with an acknowledgement that I actually have a running story in my head about me. And is it accurate and is it right? Now, my favorite thing to do to investigate the story that I tell myself is I sit down with a trusted few people and say, hey, listen, here is the story that I tell myself. I currently have a businessman. He's a CEO of a publicly traded company. And every time we get on our call as he mentors me in business, I'll say something, well, I don't really know nothing about business. And he'll stop me and say that is completely categorically untrue. It's something that you tell yourself to insulate yourself and protect yourself, to deflect and defer responsibility, but you're actually very smart and capable. And I've been trying to digest a good friend, right? The wounds of a friend are good, the scripture essentially says. That's a paraphrase. So making sure, assessing who are those friends in my life who will begin to question the story I tell myself. How about this for a coffee appointment? Can we have 45 minutes together and go have coffee, and let's both share the most prevailing story we tell about ourselves to ourselves and assess how accurate it is. I think by doing that, you'll discover that there is a lot of things you think about yourself that are actually utterly and entirely untrue, and you might have got it from a third grade teacher who didn't even know you in the first place. And so I think the adjustment can begin, and you'll begin to reap the rewards in your marriage, you'll begin to reap the rewards with your friends, and even new people that you meet.
Yeah, that's so good. These beliefs that we bombard our head with, these unhealthy beliefs, they begin to carve a groove into our brain, and we start to just think that's reality, and it's just not. And buddy, you have practiced this so well. You and I have had countless hours of conversation about this very topic, and we do that for each other. And it's something that you don't just preach about it, but you put it into practice. And thanks for giving us your wisdom today.
Thanks.
Well, welcome to the kitchen, where we love to hang out with our kitchen couples, Mike and Diane, and Eric and Kara.
So Judah Smith has so much wisdom, and he's not an old guy, but boy, he's got the wisdom of the ages. And this particular topic was actually a big one for me. He talked about this running story of me that I have in my head, and it was a tough one.
And I think in marriage, a spouse can really make a huge difference in helping to change the script that might be running through your spouse's head.
100%.
Because you can pick up on that script as a husband, because you're so close, and you can say, you know what, that's not true. And you feed the truth to her and say, you know what, this is what is really true, and this is what I believe, and we need to stop playing that tape in your head. But that's not that easy, is it?
No, it's not.
It isn't. I love what you said, how a spouse can make that difference for you. Because when they say an endless stream of unspoken words running through my head, that is me. I mean, especially when I first moved here to Canada, I was so, I needed to build my confidence because I was in a new place. I didn't know anyone, had no family. And I doubted everything. Oh no, I'm not good enough for this. Oh no, I can't go sing here. Oh no, I can't do this. I can't do that. It was just all these words constantly telling me things that I'm not good enough. I can't do this. I'm not able to do this. And it was my husband that kept saying, why can't you? Yes, you can. Why can't you make music? Why can't you go and do this? Why can't you speak at this? And I was like, oh, they don't want to hear from me. I have nothing to say. And he was like, babe, your story is amazing. Your voice is great. He had to keep telling me this because I didn't believe it. And then finally, the light bulb went off and I was like, you know what? Why can't I do that? What do other people have that I don't have? If God is for me, who can be against me, right? So I had to start believing and trusting in myself and making a vision board, writing down things that I wanted to accomplish. Oh, I want to have CD out. Oh, I want to do this. I want to be in a movie. I want to do this. I want to be speaking to hundreds of women. And all these things have come to be by God's grace and by me trusting and believing in the ability and the talent that He has given me. Because if He gave that to me, why can't I do it?
Exactly. And it took your husband, who knows you better than anybody, to speak life to you.
Absolutely.
And one of the things that we often talk is finding the best in people. When you look for the best in people, you'll find the best. When you look for the worst, you'll find the worst. You will get what you're looking for. But specifically here, when we find the best in people, right? It opens up a window for us to find the best in ourselves, right?
Yes.
And so one of the things that really love is to learn to find the best in others, and in doing so, right, it really can aid us to begin to see more in ourselves.
Good.
That's good. That's good.
Yeah,
Speaking of-
I like how he mentioned the find your trusted few. And so I'm already thinking about who I want to be my trusted few, that I kind of say, hey, call me on my stuff and tell me if I'm thinking about my own story correctly in my view, but what's your perspective? And you're definitely going to be one of those people, so get prepared. I think your spouse should be the first one you talk to that can share that. And then Judah also referenced Psalm 27. I think he said it was wounds from a sincere friend are much better than many kisses from an enemy, because your enemies don't care about you becoming better, but your sincere friend will call you on what needs to be needs to be fixed. But make sure it's a trusted friend, and then find that trusted few and let them speak into your life.
I was thinking when he was talking, what happens when you aren't in a healthy place and your inner talk isn't healthy, and what happens when that turns towards your spouse? So I'm thinking like new moms, I'm thinking new parents, when you are exhausted and you are in the thick of things and you have not slept in 3 days, and now you begin to have this talk of, am I doing this alone? Or what if my spouse, I walk in and there's bottles everywhere, and you're like, how come my spouse didn't do this? And how easy our self-talk can now create a story about our spouse in our relationship, for the good or for the bad. And so I think that's where it's important to have mentors in your life that put into perspective what really is happening, because I may have not slept for 3 days and now I feel like, Eric, where were you? And my self-talk may be saying, Eric didn't do this and he didn't see this. But then talking to a mentor, they can say, whoa, Kara, let's actually look at the whole picture and let's start rewriting the truth in this story instead of just a perspective in the story.
I'll do better next time. I'm working on it. I'm working on it.
And you were referring to baby bottles, not beer bottles or anything like that.
Baby bottles, baby bottles, new parent.
The baby's bottles. I forgot to sanitize all the baby bottles again.
And but, you're talking about more recent self-talk, but sometimes some of us deal with self-talk from childhood, like from when we were much younger, and the most influential.
But that's still tape is still playing.
Still going,
yeah.
because the most influential people in our lives were saying things to us that stuck with us, and that tape recorder just has not stopped. That's the case with me. When we first started talking about doing this show, it was really hard. Like I actually started to cry. I said to Ron, I said, oh wow, this one is, he's talking right to me. Because when I was a little girl, my dad was in the U.S. Army, and he saw battle. He saw lots of things. He was in Vietnam. He was in the Korean War. He dealt with a lot. And unfortunately, he brought a lot of that anger home with him. And as a child, I was the easiest target. And so, as a little girl, you're just chatter, talking away. And many times he would just stop me and say, oh, Ann, shut up. Just shut up. Just shut up. Like, I don't know what was going on. And, he just needed quiet at the moment. But as a little girl, I internalized that as, oh, I don't have anything important to say. Anytime I open my mouth, it's not a good thing. I better not say anything. Or if I do say something, oh boy, it probably wasn't that great. And it got to the point where when we were first married, we would leave a party or a gathering or something, and I would say to Ron every single time, I'd say to him, okay, honey, did I say something stupid tonight? What did I say that I shouldn't have said that was stupid? Like, just tell me right now. I said, you didn't say anything stupid. But that tape recorder was still running in my mind. Oh, Ann, just shut up. There's nothing there that you...
I had to try to counter that with the truth that saying, hun, you are amazing. Your speech, you heal people with your talk. She has such wisdom when she talks, especially to other girls, about things they're going through, other women, and the wisdom and the help that she gives, and now it's blossomed into all kinds of things with sharing at women's conferences and all kinds of speaking and to marriages. But I had to let her know that, you know what, you have lots to say, and don't believe that lie anymore.
And so turning off that tape recorder was key, like you said, Diane, in discovering all that God had for me moving down the road, because when you're in the middle of something stressful, that tape recorder is going. But sometimes you just take that tape recorder with you for years and years, and it can stop you from moving forward into what God has. So
we need to be careful about that self-talk.
Yes, and your spouse. If your spouse has a negative self-talk, speak into his or her life and say, no, stop it. Press stop on that tape recorder button and say, no, we're not going to do this anymore.
And flip it into positive self-talk, because read the Bible and see what God thinks of you. And so, great talk, everyone.
Thanks, you guys.
This was cool. Good stuff. Stay with us. More to come.
Hey friends, Ron and Ann here. We're so glad you're with us at A Better Us, and we pray your marriage is blessed as you take this in.
Be sure and hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, and enjoy this video.
Thanks for spending some time with us here in our home as we all work on becoming a better us.
Well, us guys had a little fun in the workshop, didn't we? Talking about that old frustration of too many pillows on the bed.
Whatever.
But as we dug a little deeper, we discovered that it's probably more than just about the pillows, right?
Absolutely. There are so many examples in marriage of needing to work through our differing preferences and to resist the urge to make a mountain out of a molehill. Sometimes you just need to realize that because you're so deeply committed to each other, compromise is key.
Also in this episode, we dealt with the issue of our negative self-talk, that nagging inner voice that seems to repeat the same old story about yourself over and over and over.
You know what? This one really hit home with me, as I have had that exact struggle since childhood. The struggle of trying to turn off the negative tape recorder. And perhaps during our discussion, you recognized your own pattern of negative self-talk too.
We learned that we don't have to put up with those lies that can propel us into a downward spiral. With our spouse's help and God's help, it is possible to erase that destructive script in our heads and get God's healthy truth into our hearts.
Yeah. The Bible tells us that our true enemy, Satan, is the father of lies, and he wants to bring you down and tear your relationship apart. But we're here to tell you that he is powerless when you stand firm in the truth of who you are in God.
Yeah. Perhaps you've never thought much about there being a spiritual battle over your life and marriage, but it's true for all of us. And if you'd like to know more about that and even have someone pray with you personally, you can call our prayer line. It's there for you 24/7.
We're so glad you took the time to be with us today. And remember, as always, with God, there is always hope to become a better us.
Hey friends, we really hope you're enjoying the marriage conversations here with A Better Us on our YouTube channel.
We have hundreds of more helpful marriage videos designed to give you hope and tools to make your marriage better.
And you can see just a few options we think you might like here and here.
Enjoy. Oh, and make sure you subscribe by clicking here so you don't miss out on all the great marriage help we have coming your way soon.